जगमग जगमग हुआ ये जग सारा, जग में आएगा नूतन सवेरा।
सृजन करे हम शुभ संकल्पों का, वंदन करे हम शुभ कर्मों का।
प्रेम का प्रकाश ये आओ मिल सारे जग को दें।
जगमग जगमग हुआ ये जग सारा, जग में आएगा नूतन सवेरा।
जगमग जगमग हुआ ये जग सारा, जग में आएगा नूतन सवेरा।
शुभम मंगलम ये दिवाली, परम सुंदरम ये दिवाली, परम सुंदरम ये दिवाली। मंगल मुहूर्त है लेकर के आई, दिशा दिशा में गूंज शहनाई।
ओ मंगल मुहूर्त है लेकर के आई, दिशा दिशा में गूंज शहनाई।
पुण्य के धन से झोली भर ले, जीवन को पावन पावन कर ले।
रंगोली से सजा हुआ आंगन ये सारा, जगमग ये लाएगा नूतन सवेरा। रंगोली से सजा हुआ आंगन ये सारा, जगमग ये लाएगा नूतन सवेरा।
शुभम मंगलम ये दिवाली, परम सुंदरम ये दिवाली, परम सुंदरम ये दिवाली।
आतिश दिशा दिशा में गूंज शहनाई।
पुण्य के धन से झोली भर ले, जीवन को पावन पावन कर ले।
रंगोली से सजा हुआ आंगन ये सारा, जगमग ये लाएगा नूतन सवेरा। रंगोली से सजा हुआ आंगन ये सारा, जगमग ये लाएगा नूतन सवेरा।
शुभम मंगलम ये दिवाली, परम सुंदरम ये दिवाली, परम सुंदरम ये दिवाली।
आतिशबाजी से खुशियाँ मनाए, झिलमिल तारों सा सदा मुस्काए।
आतिशबाजी से खुशियाँ मनाए, झिलमिल
स्नेह की सौगातें, भूले सारे हम बीती हुई बातें।
फूटे पटाखे गूंज रहा नारा, जगमग ये लाएगा नूतन सवेरा।
फूटे पटाखे गूंज रहा नारा, जगमग ये लाएगा नूतन सवेरा। जगमग जगमग हुआ ये जग सारा, जग में आएगा नूतन सवेरा। सृजन करें हम शुभ संकल्पों का,
वंदन करें हम शुभ कर्मों का।
प्रेम का प्रकाश ये
मिटाएगा अंधेरा।
जगमग जगमग हुआ ये जग सारा, जग में आएगा नूतन सवेरा। जगमग जगमग हुआ ये जग सारा, जग में आएगा नूतन सवेरा।
शुभं मंगलम ये दिवाली, परम सुंदरम ये दिवाली, परम सुंदरम ये दिवाली।
दिवाली दीपों का त्योहार, दिवाली दीपों का त्योहार, करती दूर सदा अंधकार। दिवाली दीपों का त्योहार, करती दूर सदा अंधकार। बीत जाते हैं जब युग चार, बीत जाते हैं जब युग चार, तो लेते दीप राज अवतार।
वो आतम दीप जलाते हैं,
सच्ची दिवाली मनाते हैं,
वो आतम दीप जलाते हैं।
सच्ची दिवाली मनाते हैं।
Om Shanti and a very good evening. Welcome to Sister Ruba, who will be presenting the program. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone. As Arunaben said, my name is Sister Ruba, and I'm a Brahma Kumari based in Amanzimtoti in Durban. This evening, this program will be hosted by myself in the first portion, and thereafter by Sister Ashika. Let me just fiddle with this. There we go. Sister Ashika will do the second half, and I'll do the first introduction of our program for today. As you all know from the invitation, we are chatting about my most favorite celebration, and that's Diwali. As a child, it was my most exciting celebration. As an adult, I have to say, be still my diabetic heart because of all the sweetmeats and stuff. But anyway, it's still my favorite. And so this evening, I thought what I would do is I would share the traditional significance of Diwali. And on that note, I'd like to say that, this festival, the celebration, is known by a few different names: Diwali, Diwali, or Deepavali. And it all depends on which part of India you come from, that would determine the pronunciation of this celebration. Also, what else determines the celebration is the region in India that you come from will determine why Diwali is celebrated. Traditionally, we know that it's a celebration of Sri Ram and his victory over Ravana. Oh no, it's too bright. Sorry. So Sashika is trying to give me a lot of light. So traditionally, it's a celebration of Sri Ram and his victory over Ravana when he went and saved his wife Sita. And the celebration is when he won, killed this demon Ravana, and as he traveled through India from the south of India going up to the north, as he traveled through India, the people celebrated his victory. And you'll find, usually we talk about those from the south of India celebrate Diwali about a day before the people from the north of India. And that's because Ram passed through the south of India first and then continued on his way to the north of India to Ayodhya. The second region that celebrates this festival, their celebration is based on Sri Krishna killing a demon called Nargasura. And Nargasura was this very evil being that kidnapped 16,000 young women. And so it is up to Krishna to destroy him and release these young girls. And so there's a celebration, Diwali, to celebrate the release of those 16,000 young girls. Another part of India celebrate Diwali, where they celebrate the goddess Lakshmi and the god Ganesha. Now, the goddess Lakshmi, as most of you will know, is the goddess of prosperity and great wealth. And the god Ganesh is the god who removes obstacles. And so the celebration during Diwali, this god and goddess are worshipped, and with the understanding that they will bring great wealth to the family, as well as remove any obstacles from their paths. There's a certain group who celebrate Diwali, and then the very next day, they celebrate New Year. And that too is the end of the old and the beginning of the new. And Ganesh and Lakshmi are also celebrated during that time, so that you close your accounts of the old year and you open up your new accounts with the prosperity and obstacle-free nature. I think there's a lot more. There's many other reasons why Diwali is celebrated throughout the Indian diaspora. There's the Sikhs who celebrate Diwali. There's the Jains who celebrate Diwali. There's the Buddhists also who celebrate Diwali. What I have spoken about thus far is the Hindus and why they would celebrate Diwali. But in essence, I think for everybody, it's a celebration of good over evil. It's a celebration of light over darkness. It's the celebration of knowledge over ignorance. And Sister Ashika will speak more on the spiritual aspect shortly. I just want to say that what I remember about Diwali, I'm not so sure that I even knew why we celebrated it, but as a child growing up, I just knew that that was the time that my aunts and my uncles and my cousins, all my friends would be at home, and we'd all get new clothes. Weeks before Diwali, the family will get together and they'd make all these beautiful sweetmeats and cook all these lovely foods. The house will get clean, the house will get decorated. And on Diwali day itself, we'd wake up early in the morning and we'd have to have a 3-oil bath. So it was a mixture of these sacred oils that's applied upon your head. And then you would have a bath. And the significance of that was that you were purifying yourself. You're getting rid of all the darkness of the past and cleaning it out, and then introducing some nice newness for the celebration. Thereafter, we would all put these absolutely beautiful brand new clothes on. We'd be all dressed quite nicely, and the kids would be outside playing. I remember very fondly my mother and all her sisters and all my cousins, older cousins, in the kitchen preparing all those nice goodies. And there would be my grandfather, because, months earlier, he would have placed his order for the fireworks from India. And he used to get this huge crate. And so we're all sitting there now waiting for him to provide us with our fireworks, right? So my grandfather would sit in front of us, and all the children would be sitting around him. And I don't know if you remember the Marie Biscuit advert that they used to have on TV, where the chap used to say, one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. My grandfather used to do something very similar, but he had three-way split. So it was like one for you, one for me, one for Guy Fawkes. One for you, one for me, one for Guy Fawkes. And depending on your age, you got an age-suitable firework. Of course, Guy Fawkes, 5th of November, very shortly after Diwali, so we had to save for that as well. But my grandfather always ended up with the most fireworks somehow. My sister and I remember, we used to get these China crackers, and my father, bless his heart, used to find 2 old broomsticks. He'd cut a notch at the tip of the broomstick, and he used to be so sweet. He'd put one little China cracker in each notch for my sister and myself, and those beautiful lamps that we used to have lit around the house. We'd hold our stick, light that little firecracker, and go pot. You take it out, you put another one, we light it, and it goes pot. We had so much of fun. Really, 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 it used to be so much of fun. I mean, these days, I'd like to see myself or anybody I know put a little China cracker at the end of a broomstick and get excited with light and pot. These days, we put 2 or 3 packets together and then light them, and life has changed so much because we just want more and more and more. In those days, it was really about enjoying what we had and taking that much pleasure. I don't know how many of you from my day would remember the day after Diwali, running outside very early in the morning, running outside, looking for those fireworks that didn't quite burst and make shurbans. I hope I'm getting some of you to remember those good old days. Of course, these days we have these huge fireworks that go up in the sky, cost a lot of money. I've changed. I don't like to burn my money, so I don't buy fireworks anymore. What I do is I stand at the window and look at everybody else's fireworks. At the cheaters way. But I still enjoy it. It's very, very enjoyable. I have great fun. This year, I intend to have lots of fun as well. My invitation is for you to also celebrate Diwali in the most gracious and the most happy manner, remembering all those who have left, all those who gave so much of pleasure, all those who contributed so significantly in our lives, all those who helped us to go from ignorance into knowledge, remembering them, remembering the goodness of the self, just taking care of the inner being. Celebrate, enjoy, I will be. And I'm going to now play a little video of some of our celebrations. I hope you enjoy it. After the video, Sister Ashika will share the spiritual aspects of Diwali and the true meaning of lighting that lamp, not the physical lamps that we're seeing here, very beautiful, but actually the inner light of the self. So I'm going to share this video now. Share screen, sound.
किसी के
दिल में है वही
वो ज़मीं या आसमां हो
वो है हर कहीं रोशनी
रोशनी
रोशनी ये भी उसी का नाम है ये जहां सारा उसी का काम है
उसने बनाई सबके लिए हैप्पी दिवाली
Oh, what happened? Huh? Sorry. Stop sharing. Okay. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. That's just a little small flavor of all the Diwalis we have enjoyed. I now introduce you to Sister Ashika, who will speak to us on the spiritual aspects of Diwali.
So, Omshanti and hello everyone. I think Sister Ruba has ignited in us the old feelings of our celebrations as held here in South Africa. I think taking us forward into this Diwali, we said this was our pre-Diwali. So it's our preparation so that on the day that we do celebrate, we do this with all beautiful intention and powerful vibrations. And I think I'm going to pick on the main thing that Sister Ruba spoke about was the cleaning up. So let's start from there. So why is it that during this time, we clean every other time, we do spring cleaning, whatever, but at this auspicious time of cleaning, it's not just the physical cleaning, it's the cleaning of my thoughts, because I'm checking my accounts that have been sitting inside here in the soul. And if I do the physical cleaning, and whilst I'm doing the physical cleaning, you do the spiritual cleaning as well. So maybe from today, as you go forward, every single day, do that type of cleaning up. And what does it mean? It means that you have a little bit of a recycling container and drop in there everything that's wasteful, everything that's old, everything that's past, and anything that you're worried about for the future, because those hold no place. Clean a space and make that space available for you to be able to create newness. That's the important part. So, they say that we can never see what's hiding until we shine the light into that area, which is more true than anything else. And when we do that, when we clear the space, we see how many opportunities we have for newness, for creativity. And that creativity doesn't happen just like that. It is the magic we create. So we're going to do some housekeeping. Like we're going to be physically cleaning, we're going to do the housekeeping of the mind. And then what that does is it helps then clarity for the intellect, which means the light starts shining brightly within the cell. There's clarity, there's clearness. So I was playing with the lights earlier on, and I'm going to try and do something now if I can. I'm just going to try and put all the lights off that are actually on in the area. Just see. I want you to watch the impact of as the lights go out everywhere. There's one more light to go out. Okay, so here we are in the darkness. I suppose you can just see my glasses sparkling. I'm going to take that off so you don't see that either. But if you notice, one very fascinating and powerful thing is that only the lamps are lit. And during Diwali, one of the biggest parts of the celebration is the lighting of the lamp, the deep, and the diya. And diya has a word meaning lamp or means lamp, but also diya means to give. And what does it do? So you can practically see this right now. These lights which are lit behind me are sharing a space of radiance. They're asking nothing. They're just being. And everything else, well, is in darkness because there's no electrical light on at the moment. Now, I want you to take this as looking at myself where you can't see my face. You basically can see my white outfit only because it's white, it will reflect some of the light. That if I am staying in this darkness, if I am staying in this space, then there's nothing that I can actually see. Everything looks as if it's dark, it's bad, there's no opportunity. I don't even know where to go because there's no way to step forward. Now, transfer that light to the very center of the forehead, that third eye of ours. And if we illuminate that, meaning there is a level of understanding, I am not this physical body, that I am soul. And just like how that light that's lit in the lamp, where when you strike that match and that fire catches onto the wick, that internal part of me, which is the true me, soul, gets illuminated. And the more I feed it, the more I stay connected, the more this resonates. So I'm going to ask the Rupa to please put the lights on again. And I want you to observe as each light comes on. I'll put this one on. What starts to happen? And for you, you start to see, obviously, you can see more details. And that's exactly what happens to us. That as this, the being gets more and more illuminated, there is more to see, there's more opportunity, but also there's clarity on the way forward. I think a big part of the celebration is this celebration of the goddess Lakshmi. And if you take the name Lakshmi, Lakshmi means aim. It's the one who has achieved their aim. So what was the aim of the soul? What is your aim? Just ask yourself a question now. I mean, do you have an aim? Do you have an objective that you want to be able to achieve? And what are you doing towards it? Now, at this time, we celebrate this powerful entity of the one who is abundantly giving. So when you look at what your aim is, and just say your aim is to be loving. And the question is asked, what stops you from being loving all the time? Unconditionally. And you can answer that for yourself. But this Diwali, maybe just look and see again, what is my aim? And how is it that I'm manifesting that in my everyday life? But how am I achieving that? So when we look at this, there's this power that's associated with this, and it's the power to cooperate. And when we think of cooperate, we think we must lend our finger of cooperation so that, you know, something can get done, a task gets achieved. Today, I want to turn it to the self. Do I cooperate with myself? Do I cooperate in everything I do for my highest goodness? Am I ensuring that there's nothing, there's no doubt, there's no a limited belief or self-perception that's stopping me being who I want to be and who I know I am? And so this is a good checking point for us. So the goddess is always depicted with lotus petals, sharing blessings and abundantly offering what is wealth. But the goddess does not dole out the wealth, saying, I have this, it's abundantly available, you come and you take what you want. And this is then when there's no expectation of when I cooperate, even with myself, there's no expectation for me that there is a return, even from myself. Isn't that fascinating? Because to cooperate with myself means I work toward my highest goodness. that which I want to achieve. So you have choices, and you can most probably put things in the chat box about what your aim is, and we send all good wishes toward you. Is it love? Is it peace? Is it happiness? Is it love, peace, and happiness? Then check. Am I cooperating with myself to ensure I stay in that space? Or do I then forfeit that at many times? So here's the thing. It is an abundance within myself. It's flowing. What is the thing that I'm putting to say, okay, right, I stop giving. So I don't cooperate with myself to be kind. I might get irritated, anger might step in, etc. So this is a time for me to check. So that on the day that I celebrate, I start my new year knowing my aim and objective is set, and I ensure I check always and I change. I use my power to cooperate with myself to remain within the touching spaces of my treasure store that I have. Now, so when we celebrate Diwali again, it's again about the light. So don't you think that this light gets more illuminated, happier, carefree, stronger? And one of the actual things that we do is that we do a design, we draw a design, a rangoli or column, a pattern in front of the door. And that is to welcome someone in. And it's done with mixture of flower, etc. And the pattern can be simple flower, or there's some intricate designs that people do with their fronts. I encourage you this year maybe to send your photos of all your rangoli or your columns that you do. And why do we do that? So here again, the entrance into my inner space, if it's decorated and it's welcoming, then I step into that space, already knowing that I am safe and I'm welcome. A space that is telling me that, you know what, here is somewhere that you can reside in with absolute comfort. And it's welcoming. And I think that's the most important part. Anyone coming to your home and they see that on your floor, as they step forward, it obviously brings a smile to their face, but it also makes them feel a sense that they belong, that you took that time. So another part today, encourage you. If you've never done it before, maybe contact us. We can do some simple designs together, but I encourage you to do something. And it's generally done on the morning of Diwali, early hours of the morning. The place is cleared out just in front of the doorway, and a little pattern is created. This year, when you create that pattern, whatever you do, know that from your heart, this allows me an inner stepping place, that I stay in this beautiful place of soul. And this comes to the main thing, my connection. So how does this illumination, how does this light stay lit all the time? What is that connection? So here I am in this physical costume. The soul is sitting here. And so where's this battery getting charged from? And this brings us back to the divine. And then this time, what we do is we connect the soul to the supreme soul. We do this all the time, but especially during this auspicious time, is to draw that energy and pull into the self, into the new space that you've created, into the place where you have settled any doubts, any feelings and emotions that don't serve you. Draw that energy of the unlimited divine. And God, the supreme or the universal energy, obviously is going to be able to provide you with that energy, that amount of support, that amount of love that allows you to meet your aim and objective. So, easy enough? I would think so. But you have to make this step. You have to connect. So I'll take the lamp, for example. So the diyas are lit, and in that there's a clay lamp. In it, there's oil and there's a wick. Okay. So that wick, if we equate that to our body, it's in that oil. And the wick, if it was dry and we lit it, it will burn out in 2 seconds. It will burn, but it'll burn out. But because it is in that oil, it is being sustained and nurtured in that. And what is happening, it's allowing itself to stay lit all the time. So when we are dry, when we think about, if we think we dry as personality, then it's easy to break us, isn't it? So, but when there is a level of absorption of these qualities, that is, we are, in inverted commas, oiled with love, with peace and kindness and compassion, then I'm able to weather whatever is happening. I am like that wick which can stay illuminated no matter what happens. If a wind blows, if something disturbs me, whatever it is, I might waver, I might flicker, but I'm not going to go out. And encased in that is that sitting in there is this body. So within this costume, we take care of it as well. So it brings me to the point of where Sister Ruba mentioned that sweetmeats are made during this time. So why do we make the sweetmeats? I mean, why is it so special that during this time there's so much effort to make the barfi and the laddu and the chana magaj and all the nice, heavily sugared variants of divine sweetmeats? And that is because when we share this, what do you think? What do you think happens to you when you eat these? Okay, let's forget all the diabetes and we have to take care of it. But what happens to you? And immediately, and if you're looking at yourself and you're watching yourself, observe what happens to your face. You start to smile. There's an internal sweetness that happens. And this is a pure reminder of our own internal sweetness, just like those sweetmeats. That when we express ourselves, when we have to use whatever our pure intentions are, express them through our thought, our words, and our actions, they are like offerings of sweetmeat to somebody else. So during this time, these are made and then they are shared. You don't make them all and then keep them together for yourself. It's shared and everybody makes special trays. And if you remember, I don't know whether people still actually do this now already, just based on where people stay. But when we were little, door to door, our mother will make us go down the road this way, come up the road that way, turn left, turn right, and you'll be handing out parcels of sweetmeats. You will be sharing that sweetness, and you share it with all those who are around you. Now, on a spiritual level, each time you're expressing this own sweetness of yourself, you're offering this sweet meat into the atmosphere and sharing that into that atmosphere, it changes it, isn't it? Into this beautiful place of somebody experiencing love, somebody experiencing compassion, somebody experiencing kindness, somebody experiencing belonging and a feeling of togetherness. And I think one of the most important parts, I think, in this world today is we've forgotten how to share. We've forgotten that this diya, this giving, only brings more to the self. Unconditional giving is the ability to be able to share something. And I really want to bring this point home for myself and everyone else, is that when we shared before, and when we even share now, it's not that because you have that much that you would then distribute X to XYZ. It always was because whatever you had and whatever you have, and it was never volume. So I'm going to use two words. It's never about the quantity, but the quality. If a small amount is made, and that is 100% quality, when you are making these, and if you are staying in the consciousness and connected to God and sending these beautiful vibrations of good wishes and pure feelings, these then transfer into the food, into these sweetmeats. And this is not just once off, but it's a reminder during Diwali that it's the best time to start it. And then to remember this every single time you cook or you make something, because it is an offering. And there's a word in Hindi called prashad or prasad. So, and it's a holy offering. And if you remember that this holy offering was never volume, but always something very little. But when you place that into your mouth, you experience as if you've been fed by God, that you've been given love, that you've been given absolute care and protection, because it is coming from this kind of source. So during this Diwali, as you're preparing, and if you've already prepared, you can still definitely going to be cooking other things. Remember this. And remember that when you're sharing it with everyone else, it's never the quantity. It's the quality that you have put in, the quality of love, the quality of peace and happiness. And as we all know, each one of us are going through different things during our lifetimes, and we're doing different stuff. But can you imagine somebody receiving this and feeling this kind of power that allows them then to touch into the space of this beautiful illumination, of being lit, of the lamp, of the light inside being radiating, creating an atmosphere that's powerful. So I would like to share that as I'm speaking and you're listening to me, if there's any thoughts that you're having, whatever, pop it in the chat box. And anything you want to share, it'd be good to actually just speak about. But I want to touch about the biggest part of Diwali, good over evil. There's a very interesting part about when one says one conquers evil, and then there's a winner and a loser, right? So, and we think, okay, that's there. But if evil is an illusion, if it is something that makes us believe something that actually is not real, then there is no winner and no loser, for there is no difference. Then there's equanimity. But it's my choice, right? It's my choice on what I want to do. Do I stay in the place that I'm in? It just say if I'm not feeling too grand, I'm being upset or irritated about something and things are not working out, do I choose to stay there? Or do I want to be able to be happy, light, easy, and carefree, irrespective of what the situation is? So this triumphing over evil, is it anything that makes me move away from my original quality? Anything that stops me from being who I am? And then this brings out in the self a very big part of determination. And this determination to succeed. So I will try, I might not win first time, I might not win second time or third time or fourth time. And time-wise, it could be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months, 5 months, and I'm feeling like I'm not winning. But that's my expectation, isn't it? Of what I want to achieve. But what if there are small incremental moves and shifts in myself that I'm not paying attention to? So here's an opportunity for myself to understand, what do I want to triumph over? What do I want to win over? What do I want to stand up tall and stand up for myself for? What do I want to be able to hold myself accountable to achieving? And that then is my triumphing, my good over evil. And time-wise, in the story that of Ram and Sita, that was 14 years. Okay, we all don't want to do 14 years tapasya, but what about 14 minutes? What about 4 minutes? What about a minute? And every moment that I take to step inside, to reconnect, I, the soul, supreme soul, and I draw that energy in. It's like me spending this time re-energizing myself to triumph. Because when I am actually in the real situation or in life as I'm journeying, which is my test paper, my exam paper, then I'm going to be tested. Okay? And if I'm practicing this before, then my triumph or my win over that which normally wins over me. Okay, so I'll give you a simple example. It might be that you're struggling with, let's just say, I'll tell you something about this Zoom, because the sound wasn't coming on from the video earlier on. So didn't know what we were doing. And then eventually when we found out what we were doing, there was a triumph. And the triumph was over whom? Triumph was for the self, but over what? Over an illusion that I could not do it because I did not know what to do. That I found a method and eventually managed to get it right. But the joy was absolutely great because guess what I did? I managed to do something that I thought I could not do. So who actually is winning over someone else? Or am I letting something control or be controlled because of a belief or a system? So brothers and sisters, and I'd like to just share that I think the time for us to be subservient to our own nature or old nature and habits, this is the time to change it. This is a time for us to be able to be clear and say, okay, right, this is what I'm going to do. So that when we do celebrate, we really celebrate with that joy, that absolute feeling that, yes, I have conquered this. I've been the one who has conquered good, conquer of the evil over myself. And evil just means it's the opposite. It's something that takes me away from my true nature. So noting all of this down for myself, it feels like a lot to do, but you've got things that you're going to be preparing for. So make this celebration one of absolute joy and one of happiness on that day. Is that when you're with family and when you're with friends and you're doing this, that inner radiance of yourself is obviously going to overflow and explode into that atmosphere, but not just for one day. It's a moment in time that if you create this thought of the abundance of it, that it overflows into what we can start in as a new year. A new year can start at any time for us. We say when it's our birthday, then it's the start of my new year because this is when I arrived, not the 1st of January. So this is the birth or the start of my new year. And I take that opportunity then to settle these things. So let's open our account book and balance them. Close the old accounts. If there's debts to write off, write them off happily and close it. Do not carry it. And open a new book of accounts and determine what is going to be your credit. What is it that you're going to be able to take and store within yourself? And set that aim and objective for yourself, because this time around we're closing the old year out. Okay. So has anybody got any questions or any thoughts they want to share? I don't see anything. You know, sister, I don't know if you're seeing anything. Okay, so if
No
you're happy,
question.
no questions. Any answers?
Practice.
Practice. Yeah. And I think it's not hard work. It's just this time offers us the opportunity to do it with joy. And it's easy, it then becomes easy. So if we take that opportunity, especially because, and I think it's for us to understand the auspiciousness of time, because the energy that comes through allows us to shift faster and transform faster. So for us to use that, really to use it. Okay. So if everybody is comfortable, let's try and Sister Kumari is saying so sweetly that she remembers the Shurbans. She's telling Sister Ruba she remembers the Shurbans. um, you know, the joy of of Diwali is seen through the children. I think these days I'm not too sure if children really celebrate in that fashion. And if you have little ones around you, maybe create that atmosphere for them to have the experiences that we had as little kids. Okay, so I think it's really nothing new that we know, but it's just a reminder. Today was just an opportunity for us to share and to remember that all that we actually practice and do, etc., to use this time of Diwali to really ignite and reignite that joy within the self. So let's take a few moments and just step within and celebrate in a little meditation. So allow yourself to become very comfortable. Just stepping within the self, removing all your focus from anything external, and settling into this inner lamp, this lit diya of the soul. Experience yourself the stillness, the peace, the radiance of love, the explosions of joy. And as you become brighter and brighter, you find yourself moving to connect to the divine, the supreme soul, the sparkling, ever radiant, abundant, and infinite, unconditional love flows between. And in this meeting, as a pre-Diwali gift and a share, you share your gift, that which makes you you. Find that abundant, quality that sits within yourself, and share this with God. Your first parcel, your first sharing for this Diwali. As you normally would take and fill yourself. This is your opportunity to give a gift. And as this radiance flows from you, and as the sharing is given and taken, you get to see all souls of the world receiving the same good wishes and pure feelings you are sharing. Each one lighting up rows and rows of light. And as they light up, the joy in you explodes. And like fireworks, they go off, creating an atmosphere of light, sparkling, pure, and beautiful. You still observe, because as your abundance knows no limits, and this overflowing from you with the divine, more souls are touched, and the rows and rows of lights get larger and larger until the whole globe is illuminated. Every soul experiencing the sweetness of you, of your pure quality that you're sharing today. Unlimited and divine. As these lights sparkle, each soul feels love. Each soul feels a belonging. And whatever needs to be cleaned and cleared out, there's a power that's shared with each soul to make that transformation. This is your gift to every soul. Now, because you are as unique and special, you spend a few moments accepting a gift from the Supreme Soul as well. And whatever your heart's desire is for this next phase of the new year, of a new beginning, that which will make you light up even more. You accept that in the stillness. This gift is bestowed upon you as well. As you take this, a transformation starts to happen already. And these pure energies enter into every cell of your body. and you gently take your leave, knowing that you can always come back, settling back into the very center of your forehead and visualizing this Diya, the one who is giving this light, this deep. You know your own grace, and holding this space, you choose to keep this sacred space of yourself safe, clean, and clear, and you decorate it with the beautiful patterns of love, peace, joy, and happiness. Feeling very light and very easy with yourself. Bring your attention back to the environment around you and make yourself present again. Om Shanti. So thank you, and we hope that and trust that each of you have enjoyed some time together with us and brought together this feeling. So I'm going to call Sister Ruba now as a special gift.
For you.
Oh, she's giving me the gift.
So on this is for everybody, but Sister Ashika will taste it because I'm diabetic. So we're going to give her the sweet stuff. So she's going to taste it for all of us.
They're getting offered to God first and then offered to me.
We've offered it to God first.
So the holy prasad and the offering, I accept on everybody's behalf. I'll tell you how it tastes. Om Shanti.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay. So that was very lovely. You can visit us for more. So a very happy Diwali to everyone, and lots of good wishes, pure feelings, and hope to see everyone soon. And yeah, send your pictures and enjoy. I think I'm going to reshare that last video and we can go up saying happy Diwali to everyone. So let me just try and share that.
Thank you so much. And thank you for eating the sweetmeats.
I don't know what I did now. Yeah.
Press it aside. Yeah,
That's all.
Okay.
Happy Diwali, everyone.
ये दिन जहां में हर कहीं भर दे रोशनी उसी के प्यार की दिल से वो मिला दे हर चेहरा वो खिला दे रुत लाए आज खुशियों की ये दिन जहां में हर कहीं
So Omshanti, thank you.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Happy Diwali, everybody.
Thank you, Brother Colin, and to you too.
Blessings, blessings.